Hey guys, my name's Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a little bit of a different concept. I am going to be giving some good tips for internships, and these tips are primarily geared towards if you have a business internship or work at a bigger company. However, I think there are takeaways for any interns out there. It's really hard to believe that 3 years ago, I was an intern, and it's totally crazy. I ended up accepting the full-time offer from my internship, and that's where I work still now, and I'm kind of getting ready to take the next steps and be promoted to a senior. So I thought I would put together this video to help any of you who are having your first internship this summer. So if you're in that boat, go ahead and keep watching. My first tip is to simply talk to people. Now this may seem like an obvious tip, but whenever you're only 20 years old, you're coming in, all of these people seem so worldly, so experienced, so intelligent, and what's more, they're all in a little bit of a different stage of life. Most of them have kids, they're directors, they're senior managers, they're a lot older than you are, and you might be still living at home like I was. So that's kind of a barrier for conversation. But I noticed if you just say hi, say how are you, kind of ask about their weekend, that really goes a long way. So I definitely recommend doing that. You don't have to ask anything crazy or be too personal, but definitely go out of your way to really talk to as many people as you can at your internship. Secondly, do not be afraid to ask questions. As an intern, this is your time for learning and growth. Obviously in college, you just learn the theory behind the subject matter. You're not really learning how it's applied in a real world setting, so it's totally okay to ask questions. In fact, it shows that you're interested and you want to learn. And as someone who now is at my stage in my career, I'm kind of really expected to know everything that an intern kind of learns, and I'm expected to be proficient in it. And it's really not acceptable for me to ask those kind of questions now as I could 3 summers ago. So really when you're an intern, that is your time to learn and grow, and you need to take advantage of that. And that really starts with asking the right questions. Third tip is to dress professionally. Always make sure you're presentable, your skirts and dresses are appropriate. Don't wear too much makeup. It's nice to wear these Portofino collared shirts. Be presentable. That goes a long way. I know in our culture there's this impression that millennials are kind of lazy and relaxed and casual, so don't give any merit to that impression. Dress your best. Even if some of the other interns don't dress their best, you want to make sure you're looking good, you're professional, and you're setting the impression that you really care about being there and you care about what you look like. This may seem really obvious, but I've actually seen several people not get hired and one person even get fired over this. But work the right hours. If they tell you you need to work 8 to 4:30, work 8 to 4:30. Of course, if you're 10 minutes late one day, that's not going to be the end of the world, but don't be leaving early. Don't be the last one in, the first one out. You want to make a good impression. You want to get hired, and just don't be stupid about your hours. Be there, be on time, and that's something that's really simple, and you're in total control of that. Ask for work. Unfortunately, we don't always have great managers that promote our development or even give us enough work to fill our days. I've noticed that at my company, with myself, with other people, with my friends at other companies. Unfortunately, interns are not always prioritized. However, you need to know if you want to work at this place, if you like the work, if this is for you. And these are your 3 months to decide that. So be sure that you're asking for work. And if you're not getting enough, speak up. Honestly, in my opinion, looking back on it now, it's better to not get hired because you were kind of bossy and out there about asking for work than not get hired because you didn't ask for work. Try to go to as many happy hours and extra activities as you can. That goes a long way. That's oftentimes where rapport is built, where you get kind of closer to upper management. And again, it looks like you care about being there and you're invested in the company. So try to go to as many events as you can. Don't take any vacations or any time off. Of course, if you're sick, that's a different story, but really try to schedule all of your appointments after hours on Saturdays. And for goodness sakes, don't take a vacation. You're only there 3 months. worry if you're not BFFs with the other interns. I know at the beginning of my internship they made a big deal about that, like be friends with all your interns, and obviously you want to do that. But sometimes, unfortunately, personalities don't mesh. You're kind of at different stages in your life than your fellow interns. Maybe things don't work out to be picture perfect, but don't stress about that. Be nice to everyone, but if you're not best friends, don't worry about it. Ask for feedback. Don't be afraid about asking for it. You know, that is a part of management, is to give feedback and to give it consistently. At my internship, I only had one evaluation, and that was at the very end. I wish I had asked for more. Now that I know you can ask for that, which is something I learned being in my development program once I started. And that's not necessarily always told to interns. And again, it can be kind of intimidating to ask management for feedback, but it will definitely help you, and it might even ensure that you're taking the exact right steps to get hired. Because remember, you're at your internship because ultimately you want to get hired. Act like you like it even if you don't. It's always important to set a good impression. Even if you have plans of applying for something else after you leave, you never know in the future who you might run into, so always be positive, be a team player, and act like you want to be there. Don't work on outside work. As a student, you may be taking summer classes, you may be trying to study for a certification. Don't do that. At work, you're there, respect their time, you're getting paid for this. Of course, on your lunch break, you can do whatever, but when you're in the building, even if you don't have a lot of work, try to do trainings or learn more about the company. Don't do your own personal work. Finally, don't ask about the salary compensation at all. Don't ask about it to people who would be your peers when you start. That's a huge turnoff. You never know who is hiring you. I know at my company, peers do have a role in the hiring process, and from the other end of the spectrum, when you're constantly asking about salary, that really sets off a bad impression. It shows that you really only care about money and not development and not other kinds of things that you should be caring about as an intern. There are other ways to find out salary, such as Glassdoor. Your company also may have an intranet or a SharePoint site or a PDF or something you can look at where you will see your salary. Don't ask about it. It's just kind of like one of those taboo no-no subjects. When you're older and have more leverage in your career, of course, you'll be able to be more open about salary, but as an intern, you're unfortunately at the lowest level, so don't ask about it. I hope that these tips helped you guys. If you're interns, let me know if you're an intern below and what company you're working for. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and also to my writing channel. I'll leave them linked both at the end. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You know that here tonight, your bullets ricochet.